Hello and welcome to Voices of Agriculture here on RFD. This week we're coming to you from the Lone Star State of Texas, where we'll visit the community of Hereford on the High Plains, where the first ethanol plant in Texas is now in operation. And we'll profile a community known for its dairy industry and for one of the world's most popular soft drinks. We'll be back in just a moment.
Are you a Texan? Are you a farmer or rancher? Is Texas agriculture important to you? Do you care about the future of rural Texas? Perhaps you're concerned about property rights, stewardship of the land, and the next generation of farm and ranch families. If any of this describes your thinking, then you belong in the Texas Farm Bureau. Make your voice heard in the organization that is the voice of Texas agriculture. Call your County Farm Bureau office or visit us on the web at www.txfb.org.
Everyone knows about the potential of ethanol, the clean-burning alcohol fuel made from corn, and other products. But there's some problems with it as well. Tom Nicoletti travels to the first ethanol plant in Texas in Hereford.
The town of Hereford in the Texas Panhandle lays claim as the beef capital of the world. According to livestock industry sources, at any given time, there are between 1.3 and 1.5 million head of cattle on feed in feedlots within a 50-mile radius of Hereford. But now the town is also home to the first ethanol plant in the state of Texas.
The impact that they've made to the economy, they have probably about $140 million plus investment.
The Hereford Economic Development Corporation cites several reasons for enticing the ethanol industry to locate here.
We are a very agriculture-friendly community. We see that that's where our limelight and glory is taking the agriculture industry and diversifying. One of the big reasons, you bring the corn in here and you've got the hungry mouths to feed, both in the feed yard cattle as well as in the dairies here, and they have a very easy access for their wet distillers grain products going out.
This is White Energy Ethanol Plant. It is a 110 million gallon facility that turns 100,000 bushels of grain per day into 100% ethanol. Grain is shipped in by rail from Illinois and Iowa because this is a grain deficit region. Construction of the 100,000 square foot White Energy plant on 80 acres, which is the largest ethanol plant currently offered for construction, took 18 months. Nearly 400 workers pumped millions of dollars into the local economy during this phase.
The contractors, 90% of the people that actually physically built the plant were from other locations than Hereford, Texas. So we stayed and lived in the community, such as I did, and so these labor dollars to build one of these plants are in the neighborhood of 12, even higher, millions of dollars. So why these people are here over the same period of time it took to build the plant, the 18 months, we spend those labor dollars in a community such as Hereford.
Agri-Energy Solutions of Lubbock was instrumental in bringing Hereford community leaders and Dallas White Energy officials together to build the plant. White Energy has been in operation in Hereford since January 15th of this year in what is called a destination plant.
You can build a plant in the middle of the cornfield. Like we see the highest concentration of ethanol plants are in the Corn Belt. Or you can look at destination areas, an area where you immediately manufacture the ethanol and you market it into the community, or you look at one of the principal co-products, which is the distiller's grains, which is a high-quality feed product.
It actually is a great savings to the livestock producers in this area. When they're faced with extremely high corn prices, we offer an affordable solution to them. Oftentimes, our pricing of our product is an average of about 85% that of the price of corn. So they're getting a high energy feed for a reduced price.
Area dairies and feedlots are markets for the wet distiller's grain from White Energy.
They haven't approached me yet to sell me the product. Would we use it? Yeah, we'll use it if it fits in our ration, if it's economical.
A second ethanol plant, Panda Ethanol, is now under construction in Hereford. Its projected opening in late 2008 will add another $160 million investment into the community, as it burns manure from area feed yards and possibly dairies to generate steam for the facility. But there are concerns in the livestock industry surrounding the historically high prices being paid for corn by feed yard operators and cattle producers. Some say that while farmers are reaping the benefits of higher corn prices due to increased demand, the price being paid in the livestock sector to feed cattle is too high, mainly due to the ethanol industry. Payco feedlot in Friona is one of dozens of feed yards in the Texas Panhandle, which is paying high corn prices to feed the 22,000 cattle in the yard.
The ethanol business has made the competition for grain a lot stiffer. It's increased the price of grain greatly. The cattle that were bought in the fall, it was a high price for feeder cattle, and we paid it just like everybody else paid it, but we were not expecting the grain price to go like it did. Those cattle, the cattle that are coming out now are losing between $100 to $200 a head because we fed them $20 higher cost of gain than we thought we was going to. And it sure makes a difference on the profitability of them.
Rancher Floyd Reeve is one of the stockholders in the Payco feed yard. He has his cattle placed here and agrees that feeding corn to livestock is expensive because of the demand for corn and ethanol. Expensive enough to possibly alter his management techniques.
Well, I'll try to buy the cattle cheaper. And if I can't, I'll just skip the cattle for a year and farm.
Back in Hereford, a freight train travels through or stops in town every 18 to 22 minutes, greatly contributing to the vital transportation of agricultural products from the many crossroads of this region to other areas of Texas and the nation.
We are the spoke in the wheel. We have approximately 110 trains that go through Hereford, Texas on a daily basis. We have 3 facilities that are able to accommodate the 110 car shuttle trains that bring corn and or other commodities in and out of this area. It's just phenomenal.
Many of those trains stop at White Energy's ethanol plant to haul thousands of gallons per day of the raw product to various destinations.
We've got 3 principal markets. One is California. The secondary markets are, of course, Dallas and Houston, and those are continuing to grow, so we've got great opportunities there as well.
With gasoline prices at record levels, more emphasis is being placed on consumers buying cleaner burning fuels such as ethanol blends.
The opportunity for us is to be a partner with the gasoline business and to reduce that dependence on that foreign oil. That's very important. As we look at the different fuels that we have in the future, we have the opportunities for E85s, which are 85% ethanol. As the opportunities grow right now for the ethanol that we have in the United States, it's primarily as a 10% plant.
Current nationwide production stands at 8.3 billion gallons of ethanol at 145 plants across the country. Projected production of 9 billion gallons by the end of 2008 will go a long way toward the goal of the Energy Independence and Security Act of 2007, which calls for 36 billion gallons of ethanol to be blended into America's gasoline market by 2022, with 21 billion of the 36 billion gallons coming from sources other than corn. For Voices of Agriculture, I'm Tom Nicoletti in Hereford.
Thank you, Tom. In fact, the Panhandle of Texas is experiencing something of an economic boom. There's a new cheese plant and the dairies necessary to support that effort. Again, here's Tom Nicoletti.
The town of Dalhart is receiving an economic boost from one of its newest employers, Hilmar Cheese Company of California. Hilmar has come to the Texas Panhandle to take advantage of the high influx of dairies into the region. Hilmar Cheese Company is producing natural American-style cheddar and Monterey Jack cheeses in bulk, in addition to whey protein concentrate. The U.S. and 50 countries worldwide are the company's markets.
We have become a major employer in the area, employing over 130 people, and with our planned expansions, we expect to hire another 200 people over the next 3 years, creating numerous opportunities. We've also planned over the next 10 years to invest over $190 million in the local economy.
Dalhart's location in northwestern Texas, in the center of the United States, in a growing dairy region, is an ideal place for the cheese company's second facility. Hilmar, which began its Texas operation in September 2007, expects to purchase more than 1 billion pounds of milk produced from both Holstein and Jersey dairy cows.
Typically, with a Jersey cow, for every 100 pounds of milk, we can generate 12 pounds of cheese, whereas a Holstein cow, for every 100 pounds of milk, we generate 10 pounds of cheese. So a Jersey has a higher cheese yield of the milk, hence has a different value to us.
About 20 dairy producers within 150 miles of Dalhart provide milk to the cheese plant.
And we continue to seek mutually beneficial relationships with dairymen. We really look to partner with our producers and find ways to maximize the value of the milk by innovating and investing in latest technology to process that milk.
Many of the dairies moving into the Panhandle are relocating from California. For that reason, 7 of the 10 top milk-producing counties in Texas are here in the Panhandle and South Plains. Dairies are moving into this region for various reasons, including less environmental regulations, better climate, and more affordable land prices.
The availability of land is probably the biggest thing, and the ability to grow your own feed and control some of your inputs is another major benefit of this area.
Avalanche Dairies also moved from Hilmar, California, where Hilmar Cheese Company is located, to Dalhart to continue providing milk from its Jersey cows to the cheese plant. With high commodity prices, the introduction of the ethanol industry and a cheese plant, plus the high concentration of dairies into the Texas Panhandle, to go along with the already existing feed yards, this agricultural economic boom in the region is something most people have not seen before.
Never in my lifetime have I ever seen anything like this. The commodity prices have, of course, sparked it. And they've come up 3 times what they were a couple of years ago, and even more than that. So that has, in turn, made the farmland much more valuable in dollars. And the weak dollar has had something to do with that, of course, but the value is at least doubled what it was 5 years ago.
For Voices of Agriculture, I'm Tom Nicoletti in Dalhart.
Again, thank you, Tom. We'll be back with more of Voices of Agriculture right after this.
Decades ago, Americans started leaving the farm for other professions and pursuits. The farmers that stayed fed America and much of the world. Today we grow more food than ever, and it's better, safer, and healthier. We live in the land of plenty, thanks to modern agricultural technology and the skills of our farm and ranch families. This message is brought to you by the Texas Farm Bureau, the voice of Texas agriculture. Today's abundance of food and fiber is brought to you by America's farmers and ranchers.
From time to time here on our part of Voices of Agriculture, we're going to profile some Texas communities. This time we're traveling to Dublin, Texas, where the dairy industry is important, along with the history surrounding one of the world's most popular soft drinks. Again, here's Tom Nicoletti with this report.
The town of Dublin is the Irish capital of Texas, so dubbed by the state legislature. Street names even reflect the heritage that ties this Dublin to Dublin, Ireland.
We do have a lot of people from Dublin visit Dublin, Ireland, and come back with all of the stories and come back with gifts from Ireland. And then we do have people come here. You know, there's probably about 15 Dublins in the United States. So we're always proud when they choose Texas, because Texas is a fascination for people overseas.
Dublin is located in the heart of Texas, about 90 miles southwest of Fort Worth. This community of 3,800 residents has a rich history, progressive present, and bright future. Let's travel back in history to 1854 when the town was founded. Legend has it the town got its name from the practice early settlers had of doubling their wagons in circles at night for protection on the open prairie from Indian raids. After the Civil War, Dublin's population grew as many people from the south headed west during the 1860s and continuing through the 1890s.
And this is a crossroads of railroads. So this is a major, major reason for Dublin being a central area for trade. This was an area that attracted a lot of people that saw opportunity, and a lot of it was the land, the availability of water, the climate.
Dublin's 2 most famous residents made their mark on the golf course and in the rodeo arena. 4-time Grand Slam champion golfer Ben Hogan called Dublin home.
He was born here, was here until he was about 11 or 12, went to Fort Worth. He was back here periodically. His rise to fame was always the source of pride for Dublin. The clubs that are here, these were the ones that, with the woods and the bag, that belonged to Ben Hogan.
Dublin is also home for 8-time rodeo world champion Harry Tompkins. The New York native won titles from 1948 to 1960 in bull riding, bareback, and all-around events across the United States.
I caught on to it so quick, after riding horses, at night and in ice and you name it. We did what you weren't supposed to do, and I was on horses bareback probably as long as anybody that has ever rode a horse. I had good balance. I had probably the best reflexes of anybody I ever met. It was reflexes in what you see when you're riding, and you have to be in rhythm. It's like dancing. If you're in rhythm, it's easy. If it's not, you're stepping on somebody's toe.
Tompkins also competed in the World Championship Rodeo headquartered in Dublin. Everett Colburn managed the World Series Rodeo Company at Madison Square Garden. Colburn came to Texas to form the World Championship Rodeo in 1940.
For 20 years, Dublin was home of the World Championship Rodeo. And during that 20 years, it brought thousands of people in.
Agriculture plays a major role in the economy of Erath County and Dublin. Although beef cattle, sheep, goats, cotton, and peanuts have helped contribute to the region's success through the years, today dairies are the #1 ag industry in this central Texas county. In fact, Erath County is first in Texas in dairy head with 62,000, and it also leads the state in annual milk production with more than 1.2 billion pounds.
The dairy industry and agriculture has been a huge part of Dublin's existence, and starting back years and years ago with cotton and other products like that. And of course then the dairy industry came in probably 25 years ago or so, and have just been a wonderful input into this economy.
Across the countryside, there are both small and large family dairy farms making a difference in the local economy. Darren Turley has been in the dairy business his entire life, growing up on his dad's farm. Today, he milks 200 cows twice a day, 365 days of the year at his small operation in Dublin, a location that Turley says is ideal for the milk market.
Well, I think originally when you go back to, like, say, my dad's generation that came here, we were a good climate, a lot of good grass back when grazing was predominantly the way we fed the cattle, and then we also had a milk market that was close. If you really look on the map, Dublin is really very close, of course, to Dallas-Fort Worth. That's our main market, but we're still not far from Austin or Houston or San Antonio. So our milk could go a lot of different directions. I think we had a big impact on the economy. I think we did before, but we really saw a large growth or influx of new dairies about the time I graduated high school. And with that, you saw the economy flourish. There was just a lot more building and development. Schools enlarged, just businesses started, and it just hasn't quit. Our communities continue to grow.
Dairies need a lot of feed, supplies, and services, and that attracted a wide array of new businesses to town, such as implement, tire, and other equipment dealers.
What you will see are a lot of trucks going through the intersection. And all these trucks, whether they be cattle trucks, feed trucks, silage trucks, hay trucks, service trucks, they're all spreading out within maybe a 10-mile radius of Dublin, going out to these farms and doing work on these farms or supplying the services or the feed or the employees. So the impact on the town of Dublin is just huge for the dairy industry.
This is Sierra Dairy, a 4,000-cow crossbreeding operation that is utilizing the latest technology, a carousel or rotary milking parlor.
Rotary parlor is a pretty simple concept. It's basically, many people call it a merry-go-round parlor, and the cows step on in the one corner, and there's a very strict procedure where the employees prepare the cow and clean the teat ends and allow the cows to let their milk down. And then there's a time sequence that allows that cow to come around, release her milk out, and then she gets off at the end of the merry-go-round. A couple of things that it's allowed us to do is it allows us to milk more cows. Our previous parlor milked about 130 cows in 1 hour. In this parlor, we can do about 450 cows an hour. Okay? Also, we can do a better job of preparing the cow for milking and improving milking quality. I think the cows really enjoy this type of atmosphere. If you look at cows trying to get on, they fight to get on the parlor. I had one person, I think, put the analogy the best way, and they said it's like a dog getting in the back of a pickup. They just want to get on and go for a ride, and then they're wanting to get off and go eat.
This rotary parlor allows for better labor efficiency. The open atmosphere is popular with employees who enjoy the environmentally controlled conditions in both hot and cold weather, thus increasing overall employee retention. Meanwhile, the Dublin Chamber of Commerce is doing its part to promote the town and tourism with activities year-round.
We are aggressive because we have to be aggressive. We're a small town of 3,800 people compared to the other little towns around us that are small towns too. There's no way we can compete against Dallas and Fort Worth and even Waco or the larger towns, Abilene. We have to pull together as communities to make tourism in our towns. So yes, we are aggressive because we need to be aggressive.
And then there's Dr. Pepper, a museum, a bottling company, and a soda shop, where fountain drinks are not just a thing of the past.
Well, in 1891, Sam Houston Prim was in Waco and tasted a drink that he thought was one of the best soft drinks he'd ever had, called a Dr. Pepper. And he made an agreement with Charles Morrison to bring it to Dublin, to bottle it. He came here, and we are the world's oldest Dr. Pepper bottling. Actually, we're the oldest soft drink bottler. And we've been here ever since.
About 65,000 people per year visit Dublin Dr. Pepper Museum and Soda Shop. They get not only a taste of the soft drink, but a taste of history as well.
Back in the 20s, Dr. Pepper was still advertising itself as a health food drink. It was vim, vigor, and vitality were some of the key phrases, king of beverages, good for life, those sorts of things. And they went to a gentleman named Dr. Walter Eddy in Columbia University and asked him to develop data that would justify that they were a health food drink, and because it was all fruit flavors, 23 fruit flavors and things like that. And in a nutshell, what he came up with was that the human body's blood sugar drops at 10:30, 2:30, and 4:30 throughout the day. Lethargic, lack of concentration, but that if you would ingest carbohydrates 30 minutes prior to that, it would keep you focused, lifted up, energized, that sort of thing. And so he took that information back to Dr. Pepper. And their marketing guys, brilliant, came up with drink a bite to eat at 10, 2, and 4. And it was a phenomenal success. What we bottled here on site is the returnable bottles. And that is what most people experience as a young person and growing up, is the 6.5 ounce bottle or the 10 ounce returnable bottle, where you would collect it up, bring it in for a deposit. You remember picking up bottles and going and buying a new one. We only do pure cane sugar in all of our formulas, whether it's the returnable bottle, the can, or the non-returnable. And we try to bottle once a month. On good days, we bottle, oh gosh, 10, 12, 15 pallets.
Customers of Dr. Pepper returnables travel hundreds of miles across Texas and from neighboring states to pick up their new cases of the soft drink right here in Dublin. The years ahead for Dublin are promising as young entrepreneurs operate stores and restaurants to help lead this Central Texas town toward a bright future.
Now we're seeing the equine industry with people who have horses and are looking for land to develop horse ranches. We want to offer a quality of life for people. There are people who live in the cities. I used to live in the city, who really want to get out of the city and go to a quieter, less stressful environment. And we're seeing more and more people come for that reason.
For Voices of Agriculture, I'm Tom Nicoletti in Dublin, Texas.
Well, that's it for Voices of Agriculture for this week. Join us again next time as we travel the roads of Texas, examining the issues that affect Texas agriculture and meet the people of rural Texas. Check us out on the web at www.txfb.org. Join us again next time.